Merchandise now available to support the cause, apparently. For the low, low price of nearly $30, you can get a poorly made t-shirt with the watermark still on it. This is absolutely crazy. On top of that, we also have what I am referring to, or what I'm concerned about, is a trap forming for one particular group of people with what appears to be some sort of fake rally for white folks. My spidey senses are maximum height for this. I don't want anybody, we're going to talk about that. We've got all sorts of other news going on the Carmelo Anthony front today, as his family remains pretty silent. I've got some information about their family, which, how they got so rich, stuff like that, which I'm going to break down in a video later today. Interesting stuff. But let's start with the merch. Here we have a Mary King saying, "Okay, this is a bad look. The Anthony family is now selling merch. Where's y'all's PR manager?" And it's as bad as you could imagine. By the way, leave a like on this video if you're totally not surprised by this. Look, I understand fundraising. I actually do. I really do understand it. I understand, wanting to make sure that you can pay your bills and all this stuff. These people are apparently already rich. The mom is a stay-at-home mom. And the dad is some head of some department. And it's curious. Now, again, this could be somebody just grifting off of it. But this website gets launched, and it's Justice for Karmelo. Join our mission to create awareness and stand for justice. Now, I want to actually see if I can find the who is on this real quick. I wonder if they did a private registration or if they were stupid enough to do a public registration for this website. Search again. No search results. It's probably, maybe it's too new. It literally just popped up. Oh, here we go. The who is. It doesn't look like I can find out. Let me see here. I'm in a different screen. It was registered on Squarespace from Los Angeles. Doesn't give me any information. Just Squarespace registered it. So somebody opened up a web store. Carmelo the hero. On May 15th, 2021, Carmelo saw a child drowning. Without hesitation, without thinking twice about his own safety, he acted. Wait, what? I mean, if that's true, good for him. Maybe he was just swimming all the way out there to stab him, though. I don't know. Again, and then we have Justice for Melo t-shirts. Believe me, trust me, it gets way worse. You can buy this shirt for $25, and it looks like it's being printed by a company called Quan Quality Prints. Let's look up them in real time. Let's see. Quan Quality Prints, based in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, specializing in a wide range of products. It looks like perhaps they are just a drop ship place. I can't imagine. I mean, this is maybe the worst designed t-shirt in history. It's hard for me to imagine that this is even real, that this is even a real thing, but I assure you it gets worse. In fact, here we have this. His family and friends are pushing his merch. Here we have a different t-shirt for sale. Website up, repost, grab a shirt. This is DJ Fatboy Easy. I believe it's illegal to profit from the commission of a crime, but
and you know what it is. Tweet A, tapping in. Anybody who fuck with me, fuck with my music, you gotta fuck with Carmelo Anthony, man. Justice for my dog. Website coming soon. You gotta tap in, man.
Yeah, tap in.
And you know what it is.
You gotta tap in. You gotta give this random rapper, DJ Fatboy Easy, your money, or it's some sort of paid promotion or some sort of like cameo deal. I'm not sure how on earth he got wrapped up in this. And then this other picture, to me, it looks like maybe this dude, again, I'm going to do a video later about, what some of the misinformation that's out there, and try to give, some benefit of the doubt to some of this information out there, including his Escalade and all this kind of stuff. Here is his buddy wearing a Free Mellow t-shirt. We don't know that one's for sale. But, here you have, obviously, Maj Tour talking about shopping for a house. I don't quite understand who thought, this was a good idea. Obviously, people want Pam Bondi to push for the death penalty in this particular case. I'm not really a fan at all of that, except for in extreme cases. This, I don't know if we find out more about it being targeted, or we find out more about it being, something more to it. Maybe we could explore that. Again, they call it The Truth. I want to go back to this website. The Truth. The truth is that he's a hero. What happened on that tragic day will never be erased. But just as often, people dig up someone's past to judge their character. Let this moment speak loudly to Karmelo's true nature: a protector, a friend, a hero. Look, he should be commended for, reaching out and saving somebody's life if that story is true. But that does not, make what he did on that day anything bad. Now, according to TMZ, the parents have not yet withdrawn the money from the GoFundMe, even after the teen had satisfied his $250,000 bail. Well, they're probably figuring out how they can take it smartly, tax-wise. It's a lot of money. There's probably a lot of questions around getting $500,000 tax-free. From what I understand, his dad's in finance. He's probably trying to be smart about it. But I will say, people are, sending it to the wrong GoFundMe, or the wrong fundraiser. I started a fundraiser yesterday for a white individual who was sitting at the park bench with his wife, and nearly lost his entire head due to some deranged individual. I don't even have 1,000 donors to that. There's almost 15,000 on his. So hopefully that will get some pub today too. I'll leave it linked in the pinned comment. He has not withdrawn his funds from his $450,000 GiveSend Go fundraiser. Jacob Wells, co-founder of the popular crowdsourcing platform, tells TMZ that no funds have been distributed as the company receives clarity from the campaign recipient on use of funds so that people can be confident on how their donation is being used. Well, that sounds to me like there may be his campaign funds may have been frozen. Maybe there's an investigation going into how those campaign funds are being used, because very clearly, these funds were gathered as a way to fundraise for his legal defense, not to buy a new house, not to buy a new Escalade. Now, I do think that there is a plausible explanation for the Escalade, which we're going to talk about later. This revelation comes after. So according to, here we go.
Why do we allow fundraisers for people accused of violent crimes is, I guess, the underlying question. One, there are scenarios, and we all know and have seen them in the past, where people have killed somebody.
Yep.
and not been found guilty of murder, let off, because there are scenarios where somebody dies because of the actions of somebody.
Yeah.
It's not
Oh, what's going on with their website? So we'll see. So investigation has been opened up into the funds. That's obviously very interesting. I wonder if, let's see. Let's check their website. Let's see. On the homepage, the one I started yesterday is on their homepage, for Jacob Couch, who's fighting for his life. We have just about 700 people who have donated. This is at givesendgo.com/help Jacob, Jacob, as he fights for his life. Hopefully we can put together a little more than Karmelo has raised, but that's neither here nor there. Let's go here. I assume the donations have probably, nope. Well, they've slowed down a little bit. $457,000. Again, purpose of the fund. While legal defense is a critical part of this journey, we want to make it clear that this fund is not solely dedicated to legal expenses. The funds raised here will also support a range of urgent and necessary needs that have emerged as a result of the situation, including but not limited to the safe relocation of Anthony family due to the escalating threats on their safety, counseling, basic living costs. So basically for them to live off of. Now, I don't know, what it originally said, but it's pretty curious. It's pretty curious to me. Then via the New York Post, activist group posts bizarre POV video after his bond release. We already talked about this, of him walking out and being weird. Now, here's something I need to warn people about. Matt Wallace, who literally makes up lies, in my opinion, and spreads them on X, he's one of the most prolifically community-noted individuals in history, has published this. This will be one of the largest protests in history. White Americans are done being pushed around. While that may be true, let's take a look at this poster. Protect white Americans. Justice for Austin Metcalf, ! Demand Karmelo Anthony be put back in prison until trial. Peaceful protest. April 19th at 11 a.m. So that would be what? This Friday? Wait, what is the date today? The 17th is Thursday, so Saturday. Frisco, Texas. Not Frisco, Texas. They misspelled the city on the banner. Wakefield High School parking lot. I believe they also misspelled the school. So I don't really understand exactly what's going on. Protect White Americans was founded by January 6th political prisoner and U.S. Senate candidate Jake Lang. I understand people wanting to rally around this, but this feels like a fed op. Don't go to this. Don't advertise it if it's even real in the first place. The spelling errors are suspect, given it's especially something as easy to spell as Frisco. This seems like an op. This seems like, Cash is in the FBI now, and so is Dan Bongino, but we still don't really know what level of control exists. And I can't recommend enough to people to stay away from this if it's real. Jason Willock even points it out. This is Charlottesville 2.0. I get the motivation, but this isn't the right approach. Just because Trump is in office doesn't mean there won't be paid Fed agitators there to spark bad behavior. Trump was in office during J6 and Charlottesville. He's 100% right. Do other things, don't go to this. This is like glowing off the charts for me. Donate to his family. Karmelo has raised double what his own family has raised. Consider that. Stay away from this with, don't touch this with a 10-foot pole. I hope you're informed by this video. If you were, please do leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, please subscribe or follow down below. We'll talk to you again real soon.